What up, sports fans? I'm Paulo Camacho of the Macho Sports Report. This is David DK Kim of KDVS Sports.
What up?
And this is Secondhand Sports, where we talk about topics that we just feel like talking about.
Today's topic?
The 49ers.
Preseason week number 1 has already passed, so here we go, right?
Yeah, they just beat the Cowboys in their first preseason game, 24-21, on a last-minute touchdown drive, which was actually kind of impressive considering, you know, they were a bunch of third-stringers just hoping for jobs. But, you know, you always take...
Maybe not even in the NFL.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe they'll see Johnny Manziel in the CFL.
Or, you know, go into the arena leagues or...
Semi-pro football out in Chico. I know there's a league out there somewhere.
Right.
Anyway,
but
that's
yeah,
not the point.
You take what you can get, and and as a 49ers fan, you'll always take a win against the Cowboys. But, you know, in any case... Again, I don't know what it really told us about anything.
What do you, like, do you put any stock into preseason games?
Not really. Like, honestly, the thing that I take stock in is how well the starters play when they're out there.
Really?
And not that much. Not that much, but I take at least a little stock in.
Because I feel like if I even watch preseason, like, when I watch it, I'm almost the opposite of you. I try to see the people that I don't recognize and see if they're good enough to be within the system. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I know you're third string, I know you're practice squad, but like, you're getting all these reps during preseason. Are you good enough to be an NFLer? Are you good enough to actually take a spot on the 53-man roster and not take it up from someone that could be better than you, kind of thing?
Well, I mean, like, I see that point because... I mean, that's another thing that if I watch the whole game, which, you know, isn't often, but if I watch the whole game, I want to see standout backups, standout, you know, people, standout players that aren't on the squad that, you know, play their hearts out and you know, look well for the skills that they bring. The only thing is, I can't take too much stock into it because they're going up against backups themselves. They're going up against guys who are also fighting for fringe jobs in the NFL. So it's like, it's a double-edged sword when you're watching beyond the starters. If this was week 3 of the preseason...
Oh, that'd be different. It'd be the opposite.
Yeah. But, again, because it's week 1, you just hope to see some talent on the fringe and hope that they can translate to...
So based on that, before we continue right to the Niners, in general though, if you're like, say, a parent out there that has like a high school football player, or even you're in college and you're on the team and you have some aspirations in making the NFL, but like, let's say, they say you're undersized or like not fast enough or anything, learn how to long snap and accurately long snap. And I swear to God, if you learn how to accurately long snap and you're consistent with it, those guys have the longest careers in the NFL because long snapping, a PAT, a field goal, a punt, anything like that, that's, you know, 1 or 2 degrees away from losing or winning a game.
It's one of the more invisible positions in the NFL.
It's like bullpen catcher.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's important because who are the long snappers that we remember?
The ones that mess up.
The ones that mess up?
Hey, that Giants guy who threw it way over the head in the playoff
Trunkett
game.
or whatever his name was?
See, I don't remember his name still.
Yeah, that kind of is a junk something. Or, you know, we'll either remember you for your mistakes or for your magic tricks, John Dornbos.
Hey, America's Got Talent, America's Got Talent.
Hey.
He made it to the finals, didn't he?
He did. He did.
He almost made more money than he was making his whole year. Anyway.
But, yeah, in any case, yeah, back to the game. Just back to the 49ers in general. I feel like, you know, it's still, like, I get it. You're not supposed to take too much stock into 1 or 2 series against first-team defenses because it's the first week of the preseason. But, and like, I don't know, like, I go back and forth with this, but on the one hand, it was kind of troubling to see that, you know, Garoppolo couldn't finish a drive. You know, had to go through 2 long third down conversions just to get to that third one and then fail to convert on third.
You know what it was? Him dating that adult star. Sorry. We'll talk about that in one of our videos. I was just...
Yeah.
You know what I really took away from this, honestly?
What?
Was apparently the 49ers have pretty good second and third string players. Because those guys led the comeback against the Cowboys, and they finished the deal, sealed the deal at the end. So, if anything, at least we as a Niner fan base are sure after week 1 is the backups are playing hard, and they are capable football players that if they don't make our team, we might see them this season on another team. Mm-hmm. So, we should take account all the running backs and receivers and linebackers and DBs and everything that we may not recognize, but are contributing to the preseason.
Also, don't ever take away the importance of getting a win as a team, whether it's preseason or regular season. To really build that character and that bond between players. During game time and as just in general, because at the end of the day, like, everybody's competing for a spot. When those final 53 are out, those are going to be a cohesive team. But this is how you build it, But like when you have guys who are playing their hearts out in the fourth quarter, trying to win the game, even though it's third stringers versus third stringers, it tends to bring teams together. So, I mean, like, I'll give that to the preseason, even though everything else is kind of.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I feel like a preseason game is like in college or even the pros, like a major blowout where the backups start playing the whole quarter and stuff. The game is no longer in balance, right? So, like, theoretically, it all doesn't matter or whatever, but it does in some sense, because now you're being evaluated amongst your peers. Mm-hmm. It's not against people that are better than you or worse. It's your peers. And if you can't excel in that situation against people that are at your level, then maybe you're not good enough to be on the field. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, that's what I take away from preseason games. It's not what starters do. Excuse me. Not what the name players do, but so even looking at this as an article, what does number 400 Joe Williams, who was always away for a funeral, but he was there. What would he have done?
Yeah.
Like, how would he have handled 3rd and 3 with a bunch of people in the box?
Hell, how will Joe Williams fare moving forward? Coming back from a funeral, being the number 4 guy, knowing his history as the 4th round pick who got injured. His rookie year, didn't play a single down. Coming into the season knowing that he has to do something. So, these games, these next 3 games are going to be vital for a guy like Joe Williams.
Well, he's going to have his chance to shine, no doubt, because in week 1, McKinnon, as well as Matt Breida, suffered injuries.
Jerick McKinnon actually suffered an injury during practice.
Oh.
It wasn't even during the game. So
anyway, either way, guys like Raheem Mostert and Joe Williams will have a shot to show Kyle Shanahan
that they belong in the system.
That they belong in the system. And I'm sure for guys like Joe Williams and Mostert, they're going to be looking to try to get in as 3rd down backs, 3rd and short, receiving out of the backfield, spread offense.
Or if they can prove their mettle against defensive starters, then maybe have a rotation of running backs, to keep Jerick McKinnon fresh for one. But if they can handle themselves in the offense, then maybe just have that second guy to rely on in more clutch situations, less clutch situations, the right type of situations. Like, who knows? I mean, in any case, this is their opportunity. Mostert, Williams, there you go. Hopefully you take advantage of it, because...
Plus, hopefully they know how to block on the edges, because they're gonna have a lot of those kind of options for them, where they block, chip, and then they go off to the flat. Because, it's Kyle Shanahan's offense. Garoppolo's going to throw it like 40, 45, 50 times a game, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of throwing it 50 times a game, I saw one of the videos that our Facebook page posted about Richard Sherman defending that fade inside of the 10-yard line, 15-yard line, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hear anybody outside in the media bring up that play.
Yeah,
I mean,
funny that, huh?
I mean, I guess we can't speculate on just one play in a vacuum.
No, I guess not.
Right?
Oh, hey. How about that, huh?
Proving points is hard. Proving points is hard.
But, you know, the media tries to do it. You know, they need talking points, so whatever.
Keeping on the Niners, I want to say it is the preseason. I think this isn't happening until regular season, but you sent me a link saying that the Dwight Clark statue is going to be outside of Levi, and this year they're going to honor him having a decal on the helmets.
Right.
And for those of you that don't remember or forgot, Dwight Clark passed recently after ALS, I believe. And for even those older, Dwight Clark is the other end of the catch.
Right.
You know, Montana to Clark.
He is quite possibly one of the most iconic 49ers of the 80s, let alone in franchise history. If you don't know the name Dwight Clark, I'm gonna question if you're a 49ers fan or not.
Oh, yeah.
So,
basically.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, they're honoring him with a statue. I believe it's in October. And I look, if you don't think he deserves it, again, I question whether or not you're a Niners fan. But I don't think that's the issue.
No, I think everyone knows he deserves it. I think it's cool that that's happening because I was more worried that the Niners were gonna before they signed Shanahan's up, that just keep doing Niner stuff and that, I mean, like give Joe a statue and Jerry a statue and Ronnie a statue and so on and so forth, and kind of forget about your history and where you came from and John Brody and Dwight Clark and all that. But it's good to know that Dwight's going to be there, because that means that you didn't forget about the era before, like just before.
Right.
You know,
because
that's important. That built the foundation.
Let's not forget that Clark and Montana and, you know, all of those guys, like they were there, you know, when the team was losing. Like, yeah, Montana didn't come in, you know, and just start and win Super Bowls right away. He was drafted in '79 in the third round of the NFL draft out of Notre Dame, and you know he went through a couple of, you know, not good years.
He backed up Steve DeBerg for a while.
Yeah, can you imagine that being
he was
the GOAT and having to back up Steve DeBerg in your rookie season? I mean, come on, like, you know.
It became full circle though when Montana became a Chief. You know, his backup was
Steve DeBerg.
Steve DeBerg.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I think that Dwight Clark being memorialized like this, you know, actually from a straight business standpoint, is really, really smart. Just going from the cold, hard numbers of Jed York in the front office. I mean, let's face it, Jed York hasn't been the most popular guy recently, considering, you know, you got rid of Jim Harbaugh and, like, you kept around Trent Baalke, and you basically saw the downfall of the latest incarnation of the good Niners teams. You need all of the goodwill that you can get from your fans, and this is one of those things that will help you there. So, you know, good job, Jed York, for going about doing all of this.
Lowering ticket prices would help too.
Yeah, and concessions and everything else.
No. I'll pay the $20 beer if I can pay a $75 ticket. Let's not get crazy.
I'll pay the $100 ticket if I can get like a $5 beer.
That's like a $150 ticket if you want a $5 beer. And then the parking's going to be like $55, $70. You know what I mean? Anyway.
But,
I would say going into week 2 of the preseason, if you guys need to look for anything, it's how much more improvement the offensive line shows from the first game to the second, Jimmy G's progressions, what the backup running backs are doing, and how the defensive front 7 look in the first couple of series.
Also,
but aside from that, don't worry about the score.
With McKinnon out, I don't know how long, but maybe he doesn't play in the next game. So who does Shanahan use in the starting offense at running back? Because, people, the running backs were thin already. But now with McKinnon down and then also with Breida down, you got to wonder, okay, so what's Shanahan going to do in emergency situations like this? You have to start a guy.
Whoever you're thinking about using in the receiving core in the double reverse situation and never passing it to them, I would put them in the backfield. How about that?
Well, that's you.
I know. I'm just playing Madden.
I know.
Did you know his rating was no, sorry.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, those are some things to look for, especially since they're going up against Houston. They're going up against the Texans. That probably means Garoppolo's going to be staring down the barrel of J.J. Watt
for 5 plays.
I know, but it's still.
I know. What I'm saying though is, I feel like we shouldn't be worried about the running backs because I don't know. I feel like if we had a Frank Gore type or I don't know, not Gurley, but a guy that's going to dominate the touches, a true lead back,
an Adrian Peterson,
type, or even Frank, back to Frank Gore,
Le'Veon Bell type,
even a Frank Gore, Le'Veon Bell type. I would be worried if someone like that got injured, but McKinnon was never going to be that guy anyway. He was going to be in the shuffle. He might have gotten the majority of the touches and maybe started, quote unquote, but he was going to be in a rotation, and the offense is going to be more. Can Jimmy see and read the defense and change play the line?
I think that's easy to say because we haven't seen the full offense yet.
Fair enough.
So
this is my opinion. Based on the offense I've seen Kyle Shanahan run forever.
Right. Well, it's a fair point to make. I don't know. Do you have anything else regarding the Niners that you would like to talk about?
I feel like I'll have more to say after week 2 and even more after week 3. At that point, we'll know who's starting where, what the real rookies are going to look like instead of practice squad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I would like to see what Fred Warner has to offer because he didn't play in the first preseason game for some reason. I don't really remember what it was. It might have been an injury, but
yeah. So I feel like after week 1. Even though McKinnon's a big, quote-unquote, big name, no one big got injured, so I'm happy about that. Mm-hmm. After week 2, how much improvement do you have? And then week 3 and 4, you're figuring out who your starters are and don't get injured.
Yeah.
As long as they do that, they're fine.
Okay. So, that said, post your comments down below. What did you think about week 1 of the preseason for the 49ers? Do you think it means anything? Do you think it means nothing? Post your comments down below.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe as well.
I'm Paulo Camacho, the Macho Sports Report.
David DK.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.